So here, in this video, we'll be recollecting the concepts of IIFE and variable in the window object. So we will try to understand how it actually works. So let's say now we have an IIFE function. So I will just simply write the function. So here, the concept of web variables. So let x equal to y equal to 20, and now let me just log x and log y. Okay, so now you might think that the output might be maybe 20 20 20 and 20, because y is pointing to 20 and x is pointing to y. So both x and y might be point to 20, right? But the thing is, if I run this code in Next.js, you'd get x is not defined. But let's say I'm commenting this and I'm running this again, then I'm getting y as 20. So why it actually happens? So here it actually comes the concept of, let's I think this one is fine. Yeah, I think no, not this. Let me just erase this. Yeah, I think this one. So you know the concept of IIFE, that as soon as my function gets invoked, it will be gone from the call stack, right? It will directly execute, and then it will be gone from the call stack, isn't it? It will be popped out. I mean, popped off. It won't wait for anything. That okay, this function will be called somewhere, but no. IIFE is just for immediate function like execution, right? So as soon as it gets executed, it will be popped off from the stack, right? So you know the concept of IIFE. Now, what happens is that this X, so because you know that let has a block scope, isn't it? So let won't be accessible outside this block, isn't it? It won't be accessible, right? So what actually happening? So JavaScript, as soon as you know that, I mean, what JavaScript does is, uh, if JavaScript sees any bracket, it will directly go to that bracket part. I mean, it won't care about this latex, no, nothing. It will directly go to that bracket part. What it will do, it will just see this part, y equal to 20. That's it. Now, if you have seen my video of the storing the variables in the window object, then you know that when we store a variable in the window object, we don't specify those let var const or whatever it is, right? So if we don't put anything, I mean the type of the data type. So I mean the let var const or anything, what it does is it actually stores this y equal to 20 in my window object, the window object that you know, that window dot something, right, in the global object. So now JavaScript has stored my y equal to 20 in my global object. Okay. Now what will happen? So now what will happen is this has been stored. Now this X doesn't know anything. I mean, X is finding something, but it can't, because the thing is this thing is in window object. But what happens is that X, because it is a block scope, it will show you undefined, right? Because as soon as it gets executed, it will be popped off, isn't it? So now if you run the code, what happens is that y that x is undefined, because it has been executed. It has been executed and it has been popped off from the stack, right? But what happens to the y? Y is still in the window object, isn't it? So it will be still accessible. So now if I do console.log y, it will search in the, first of all, it will search in this code. If it doesn't find this, it will directly go to window object, and it will find that, okay, if there is something called y, then just give me, that's it. because the code has asked me for. So now it will give you the output because it is in window object, isn't it? But other than this X, because it has a block scope, as soon as you execute this, it will be popped off from the stack and it will be gone. That's it. So now you got the concept of this thing. So let's say you want to so let's say you still want this value, right? Let's say so because it will be popped off. So let's just do one thing. Let's just console the value of X here because it is a block scope. It should give me the output, isn't it? So you would see that it is giving me out, isn't it? So this 20 is my X. Then what will happen is this Y will get executed, isn't it? So now you got the concept right because it is a block scope, and right away it gets executed. It will be popped off from the stack, and now as soon as JavaScript goes here, it can't find anything. It can't find anything, but it can find the Y because Y is stored in the waybind object, right? So yeah, this was the concept. I mean, both the concepts of how you can store the variables in the within object as well as the IIFE. So yeah.